The four of you have finally returned to Saint Denis after your journey to the moon. As you descend down to the city proper itself, you see the familiar clouds of billowing smoke from the dockside factories and the lights of the city below, as in the umbra landscape, you see the familiar mechanical spider spirits scurrying around the rooftops. And it is about a day or two before the moot. The moon is almost completely full, and Heath has the path stone needed to open the moon bridge. So where would you guys like to go?
Um, they're just gonna fly down towards Adrian's property, his house. There's plenty of space there that's safe to go back in out of the Umbra without being seen.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so they'll fly over there and land there.
All right, yeah. So you land on Adrian's property or cross over inside the house without any trouble. And I'd say it's probably like late night, the night before the moot.
Can't believe it.
Um,
Time.
how late?
Um, I want to say somewhere around like 7 or 8.
Yeah, still dark, but not bad. They gotta go check in. Yeah, they'll just. It's a kind of a long walk. They don't have their horses, but he has horses. He still has the two that the Sept gave to him because Isaac and Adrian had their own horses already. So he can hook up a cart. They can hook up a cart and drive out to the elder's house.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
Let's go on a little road trip.
The set. Are you going to Margaret or Mary? Margaret is the Sept leader.
Yeah, Margaret.
Okay.
I know he talks to Mary and all that, but she could give him orders, of course, but she's not the actual elder of the Sept. It would be disrespectful to take that stone to her before the head honcho.
Mhm.
So, yeah, they're going to go to
Okay. And yeah, so
Margaret. Yeah.
Margaret's house is on the outskirts of Saint Denis, and you know where it is easily enough. You do see a few lights on, but it looks like most of the house is asleep when you arrive to the front door.
Okay. He motions the guys to come with him and go up to the door, and he knocks on the door twice, and he looks to Heath and holds out his hand and says, "Let me get the stone."
So he takes it out from his satchel and just hands over the stone.
Actually takes a look at it. It's kind of cool. It's a stone from the moon. But other than that, just waits for the door to get answered.
Okay, yeah, and after a few moments, Margaret answers the door, and she doesn't look like you. Like she's dressed. She doesn't look like you just woke her up from sleeping.
Mm,
And she she gives a small smile when she sees the four of you and says, "Oh, good, you're back."
yes, we are. And he holds up the stone for her. You needed one of these?
Yes, we did. I'm assuming that White Eagle must have passed the message along. I
Yes,
had a feeling that he would probably run into you first.
you were
And
correct.
and she reaches out to gently take the path stone, and she says, I'll bring this over to I'll bring this over to Mary tomorrow, while she's preparing to everything for the moot."
All right, great. Is there anything else you need from us?
No, not tonight, other than for you all to tell you the story of your adventure tomorrow.
Oh, it was no big deal, really. I don't know where to start it. Should we start it from the fire? We'll tell you tomorrow.
And she nods and says, "All right, I I look for I look forward to hearing about it tomorrow. Four of you have a good night."
You too.
Thank you, ma'am.
He gives a tip of his hat and turns and exits her porch.
All right, and she politely bows and closes the door.
Well, we have two choices, men.
And those are?
We can go home and be good Christian folk, say our prayers and go to sleep, or we can go get blackout fucking drunk, maybe start a fight, and get ready for the moot tomorrow.
Sounds about right. Adrian, you can talk to spirits, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna need a favor in a bit, I think.
Okay.
I know that we could talk to animal spirits. Is there
Mhm.
any way we can talk to one of us, a spirit?
One of us?
Yeah, like a
An
previous.
ancestor?
Uh, yeah,
Like a member of your family down the line that kicked the bucket?
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes. Yes, we can. I'm not quite sure how to get one to come, but I think we can figure that out.
Do we need to get the pentagram?
A what?
Don't worry about it.
You mean like one of those star things?
Yeah, or a cross, or some holy water. I'm pretty sure if there's a church nearby, we can borrow some.
You read too many horror stories.
Hey, it's a way to pass the time.
If
I
you
mean,
act like a man, your ancestor's gonna be like, that's a good dude, and he's not gonna give you shit. He's just gonna teach you how to do your thing and drive on.
we both know that's not gonna happen easily. Maybe.
Probably not. I've seen you.
Thanks. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
So are we getting drunk or are we going home?
We should probably just get wasted.
Isaac's already walking to the bar.
Come on.
He's had enough of this discussion. He's like, okay, well, the moment they mention, getting blackout drunk, he's already heading off because he knows what's
He's-
going to happen.
I know what the plan for the night is. Yeah,
You-
they're all off to the bar.
After the bar.
The one that's guru friendly. Adrian's taking the wagon, by the way.
Oh,
Fuck that walking shit.
you're not gonna walk to the bar?
Nope. Always drink and drive. That's Adrian's motto.
Um,
It's not against the law yet.
how many people have you run over with a carriage?
While drunk, none.
That you remember? Okay.
While drunk, none. Other than that, 12.
You're lucky that you're a lawyer, I think. Probably. I swear. Alright, well, let's get this over with. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a freaking disaster.
Oh, it's always going to be a disaster.
Do you have that little faith in us that we can't behave for a night?
It's always a disaster. It's how good we look when we get out of the disaster that's helping us along.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Well, let's go follow Isaac. Excuse me. Follow Isaac before
He parks the wagon and walks into the bar.
he just follows along.
Fucking silver fangs.
Heath is just muttering like, and so Heath gets himself a couple of shots, just a couple,
Just a couple? Okay.
just a couple by his standards. So about 5 or 6.
Adrian buys a bottle.
He'll be the designated DD driver.
How many people are inside the place tonight?
This late, not a lot. Oh, sorry, my cough just suddenly kicked in. Yeah, this time of night, not a whole lot since it's right before the moot. You do see, you do recognize a few bonars. Myrtle's pack, just kicking it back and partying before the party starts tomorrow. The pre-party party, and then
Those bonars sure know how to pregame.
and then there's also the kinfolk that work at the bar too. And then there's actually also a new face, at least somebody that doesn't live in the Sept. How much has Isaac traveled around? Does he know a lot of other Silent Striders?
A few. For the most part, he travels pretty much anywhere. Mostly stays in the States, of course. He's traveled to Mexico a few times, but like not overseas or anything. Some Canada.
Okay.
So he stays in the North America
Okay.
ish.
And
Yeah.
now we know what he means when he says he's got hoes in different area codes.
Exactly.
But
He likely does. I mean, but yeah.
When do you
when it
know
comes
you
to-
need to move? When I'm bored of her.
wow,
Damn, dude.
that is
Wow.
brutal.
Yeah, when it comes to his particular tribe, though, some silent striders aren't very welcoming to the wayfarers because they tend to sell. Well, silent striders tend to travel often and deliver messages for good, but he's using his abilities for bounty hunting, which is sort of kind of looked down on, but it's good money.
Okay. So at one of the tables, you do recognize one of your fellow Silent Striders. He usually travels around kind of like the northwest, the western part of the states, but I'd say you've probably bumped into him a few times. Probably met him at like one of the tribal moots.
Hmm.
His name is Cornelius Clay.
Cornelius Clay.
Yep.
All right.
If he
And
has a son, has to name him Cassius.
yeah, he's white, not as yeah, he's white. He's definitely gotten a lot of sun. So like kind of like a tan. He's got quite a bit of a tan going on. But he's knocking back a few shots at the bar when he stops and recognizes you, Isaac. And at the same time, Myrtle is also waving Laz over to join her and her pack in a few drinks.
What?
All right.
She's trying to snipe our lads?
And if I remember, the setting that we're doing is a little further south, isn't it? Kind of southeast-ish,
Yeah,
or what the?
southeastish. From what I understand, Saint Denis is kind of like the New
Louisiana.
Orleans, yeah, like the
Yeah.
New Orleans of Red Dead. So
All right.
kind of like the Louisiana area.
Okay. So he's seeing this guy so far south is a little strange. Maybe.
It's not his usual route, but it could be he might have some news, or maybe he just wanted to change the scenery.
All right. Well, for now, he's just gonna raise his bottle, kind of tip it to him a bit, down it. Keep in mind to go over and maybe shoot the shit a little bit.
All right.
You're leaving us, Adrian.
No, I'm still
Okay,
right
man.
here.
Oh,
It's okay.
Don't miss me too soon.
oh, I'm sorry. I'll try not to.
All right, trying to get rid of me. I see how it is.
Me? No, never. I would never try to do that. No, no.
Uh-huh.
My honesty is my only virtue in this group.
So is your bullshit.
Excuse you?
I didn't
You
stutter.
can, Les. In fact, Adrian slips Laz $2 and says, "Why don't you just go over there and buy him a drink? You can hang out with them. It doesn't hurt us any. We've been stuck together for weeks now, apparently months now."
Don't remind me. Please don't remind me. But also, why do you sound like a father just telling his son, "Here you go, little Timmy. Here's some
Because
man's
because Laz makes his money
Oh gosh.
off of doing shows, and since we've had him gone for a month, he hasn't made any money. I make money by sitting here.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like you.
just like me. I ain't gonna deny it.
Our pack is the haves and the have-nots.
It turned out that way, didn't it?
They're happier than we are.
Are you sure? I mean,
Yes,
looking at Isaac, he kind of frowns a lot, so I'm not sure if he's
he's
happy.
the happiest motherfucker alive.
As he just shrugs and takes another drink.
Like last, I can understand, but you know what? Sure, let's go with it. The has and the has-nots. You want what you can't have,
Yeah.
unless we give it all for the sake of a rat. I don't know. No, by the way, that wasn't gonna happen.
He just takes another drink and shakes his head.
Yeah,
Sound like
Les, when you say party to get ready for a party, and Myrtle and the rest of her pack are just like, hell yeah. And yeah, and Myrtle says, it's good to see you back, Laz. You were gone for a while. And Laz says, yeah, I heard time passes differently in the Umbra. And one of Myrtle's pack mates, a guy that you know by the name of Earl, he nods and says, "Yep, that's the name for it, the Umbra. Time works differently over there, and the deeper you go in, gravity works differently too. What you got to do is," and he stops to kind of tap the side of his head, and he says, "You got to keep an open mind, and you'll be able to go anywhere in the Umbra, except backwards in time. That's not possible." And then he catches himself as he pauses and says, "Actually, I don't know if it is. I'll look into that." Is it possible to go to the moon? Wow, Laz, nice way to ask these questions after you go to the moon. And Earl nods and says, "Oh yeah, it's possible. You take the moon paths, or you become bonded with Owl as a totem. Having Owl as a totem gives you wings to use in the Umbra, but for those that don't choose Owl, there are paths that lead up to the moon and to many different places. They're more visible on the full moon, but it's also more dangerous to take the moon paths during the full moon." And Laz, you smile, and you say, I see." And Myrtle gives you a nudge, Laz, as she says, "So where have you been for the last month? Actually, wait, don't tell me. I'll find out tomorrow at the moot." And Laz, you say, "Oh, yep, I'll be giving out the details then for sure. For now, it's hush hush." And everybody at the table nods, and Myrtle says, "All right, hush hush, hush hush." Ah. Myrtle nods and says, "All right, it's hush hush. Don't worry, we won't tell anybody you've been up to exciting adventures without us."
Hey, Isaac, give me a smoke.
You sure about that?
I want to see if I built up a tolerance riding around in the smoke out there.
All right, it's your funeral. He hands him a cigarette.
He taps it against the table and he just holds it for now. Drinks more.
If he starts keeling over, you're carrying him.
Do I have? Well, if by carrying you mean drag him because he chose this, then yes, I will carry him.
Why not just leave him here?
That will be as fun, though. We gotta get you home somehow.
No, I don't have to go home.
I'm still dragging you home.
Been over a month, right?
Yes, I think so. At least as far as my journal goes.
The moon didn't seem that long.
Well, then you guys said that the Umbra changes?
Well, they say time moves differently, but it's so sporadic and weird. I don't know.
Well, I guess we jump forward in time for a month, even though it felt like a week or even less.
Time is when you're flying fun.
Oh, there you go. See?
Wait, what? I don't think that's how that saying goes.
It is when you have an owl for a...
But it's an apt explanation of what we did.
Good point.
And time is when you're flying fun. I know this for a fact.
I'm gonna go get another drink. You guys yourselves.
Bless you, fella.
Stranger.
Silent Strider guy.
Oh, I thought it was just a random the bartender or someone.
Maybe.
God, if you're sneezing, bless you.
Alright, yeah, and as Laz is chatting it up with the bone pickers, but yeah, and Cornelius is chatting it up with Isaac, kind of talking about some of the paths that he's been taking around, and he heard about, and how he heard about the fire that was caused by the refinery explosion. So he decided to swing by and see if he could figure out what was going on. And he also happens to also be a bounty hunter.
Well, that works.
Damn it, the competition's moving south.
Say no, you're gonna have to find your own territory.
You can visit, but you can't take jobs, motherfucker.
All right, so he came down because he found out about the fires.
Yes.
Of course, Isaac's gonna go, "I don't know shit about that. I just know I had to fight some Banes, and that's pretty much it." He's not gonna give up as to how those fires happened.
Hell no, we're not.
Yeah.
It was a fortunate accident. That's all
Yeah.
there is to it.
But he'll be
Brief
friendly
lightning
enough.
strike.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Cornelius nods and he says, "Yeah, I've heard that Cornwall Railroad Company has been upping their security, but I'm sure that's all going to be talked about at the moot. arrived 2 days ago myself.
All right. Well, how long are you sticking around?
Probably until after the moot, and I'll pick up any messages that the elders want to send out, and I'll be on my way.
Sounds good. Maybe we can take a minute, just kind of shoot the shit, see what's going on in other parts of the world.
Tell you what,
Sure, we got some stories to exchange.
And according to,
Izzy likes talking to silent striders. Why don't you come over to our house for dinner tomorrow night before the moot? You guys can shoot the shit. You even have your own little room or just sit outside if you want, whatever you want.
Oh, private like.
Whatever you guys want to eat, we'll make it.
well, sure, I'd like that.
Isaac kind of leans over to him and is like, take advantage of it. This guy dishes out money like crazy.
Yeah, I think there's another silent strider that's passing through, another Fostern like me. He's lupus, so I don't know where he's staying, but his name is Snake Chaser. I'll see if I can find him and bring him around.
Lupus, huh? Don't see many of them around here anymore. Not silent striders anyway. Which is unusual, but he kind of shrugs.
Well, our tribe isn't too common, but
Nah, unfortunately. But hey, just makes this all the more unique and wonderful to be around, right?
right.
Quiet you.
He just drinks another shot.
Adrian waves him off. Silver Fang, you know.
Acts more like a get offenders if you ask me. He again whispers.
I don't know.
Cornelius.
I don't know.
I haven't died yet. I'm still here.
That's
I don't
usually
know, I
what
mean-
most of the get say.
I mean, we can see wraiths. I mean, things been kind of weird around here. You could be dead.
Oh, then it should be easy to summon the spirits, I guess. Right, so,
Wait,
holy
if
water, right?
you are your own spirit, then couldn't you teach your...
I don't know, can I just touch my forehead and I'll learn what
Try
I need to
it.
learn?
Wait a minute.
Try it.
What?
Wait a minute. Clay,
Yeah?
speaking of weird shit, you heard about what's been going on down here, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit. Was it about a month back during Samhain? A whole bunch of the
Mhm.
dead started walking around.
All right. Was it anywhere else that you know of? Because I've been kind of stuck here for the past month and a half, 2 months ish.
I mean, out west I've come across the literal ghost towns. Folk walking around abandoned mining towns as if they never died.
Hmm. And on your way over here, does it seem to be lessened, about the same?
I'd say probably a little less. Out west it's a bit more wild country.
Wilder than this?
Well, I
Huh.
mean, with the storm eater and all, everything's been tossed about as far as spirits go.
I gotcha. All right. Well, good to know.
Like, you ever hear of... Have you ever heard of Texas tarantulas?
Not quite familiar.
They're a new kind of creature that's that's been roaming around Texas ever since the storm eater's been flying about. Imagine a spider the size of a small house.
Now, are we talking this plane or Umbral? That's kind of important.
Yeah, honestly,
Well,
kind of is.
sometimes it's tricky to tell. When
Oh.
the umbral
Oh.
storms happen, they tend to roll through randomly.
Well, that's
So-
not good.
You know, one moment you're going down the road, next moment you're surrounded by all sorts of nasty spirits.
Spiders the size of houses.
Guess we're avoiding Texas, huh?
I would need new pants.
Yeah. I don't know. Just find a pair of brown ones and you're set.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not so bad compared to a Nexus crawler.
Good point. But still, spider.
Too bad you can't tame one of them.
I don't know. There's been some interesting familiars and pets and whatnot. You're determined enough, you probably can. Now, without losing a limb or two, probably.
That's part of the adventure. Probably. Probably.
Yeah, that's too Weaver for my taste.
I'm just here to have fun, honestly, at this point. After seeing the dead rise up and everything in between, I don't think there's much to surprise me so far.
Yeah, I think it was the train crash that did it for me.
I beg your pardon?
It's a long story. We just had a out of bad experience. That's
Umbral
that's it.
storm. We were on a train. Umbral storm hits. All of a sudden, we're on a ghost train that's also our train, and there is a ghost train heading straight for us. Train crash.
That was an out of body experience, honestly. But
It
hey,
was surreal.
unfortunately, it made us not want to take a train again for the most part. I'm still willing to do it.
Huh. Well, I've heard of stranger stories. Well, stranger things.
Definitely got to share some of those stories.
Oh yeah, I have a few.
Well, sounds good. Share a few maybe after the moot before you go.
Oh yeah, I'll share a few stories over dinner.
Sounds great.
You're probably going to hear all of our best over at the moot. Laz is pretty good.
Oh yeah? Well, looking forward to hear it.
It'll be a good one. I hope.
Alright,
That's a faith.
and then after a while, Cornelius excuses himself and heads upstairs to his room above the bar. And things start to settle down a little bit. The Myrtle and her pack, the Bone Pickers, they start to kind of simmer down after a while and start heading on their way out. And as that pack leaves, Myrtle waves goodbye to Laz and says, "Well, see you at the moot tomorrow." As Laz, you answer back, "See you there."
So it's probably like 10 or 11, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Really late for people that don't have much electricity, so it gets really dark. Fuck it. They'll take the wagon home.
Yeah, there's still there's a few electric street lamps that light the way, but not a lot of people are out. Mostly it's the night shift workers or the night shift policemen.
Okay. Seems like they're pretty quiet, so Adrian's just driving them home while drinking more whiskey out of the bottle. He's not a very safe individual.
And we're only like 25 years away from prohibition. He's gonna have a bad time then. Alright, but yeah, so everybody comes home safely. The night is very peaceful. Alright, and then the following day, with the moot happening towards the evening, probably after dinner, is there anything that anybody wants to do before the moot?
Nothing's coming to mind right now.
Well, Adrian tells Izzy that they've got guests coming over for dinner, so she might want to cook enough for them. And then he goes out and gets a shave and a haircut.
For
Fancy.
2 bits? Sorry, had to.
2 bits? Why so expensive? I give you 1.
Don't you have enough money to buy the world over twice?
No, I just have about as much money as the Queen of England.
And still you butter with it. the barber.
Yeah, 2-cent shave and a haircut.
He's just gonna meditate.
Okay.
Adrian's gonna go back to sleep. His whole body is really sore.
I can imagine flying to the moon and back. It's a
Well,
workout.
it's more than that. The being an asthmatic and stuck in space that's filled with smoke for 5 days.
Or almost a month. Depending how you look at it.
Well, the moon wasn't filled with smoke. As soon as they got to Strawberry, there was only a little bit of smoke left. Then they went straight up.
The air was clean. Or the lack of air, I guess.
I don't know if we actually breathe in the Umbra.
Oh, I don't know. I assumed so.
We do, but is it air that we're breathing?
We're
Is it
breathing
dark out we
umbra.
gotta worry about?
There you go. We're breathing umbra particles or something like that.
There you go.
It might just be pure nauseous.
Nauseous?
Nauseous.
No.
Or what
That's
you might
the-
call gnosis.
Oh. Oh, genosis. Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Nauseous.
Geneva.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So as the four of you meander around throughout the day, and Adrian gets a haircut, and Izzy gets ready for dinner. Yeah, and the two silent striders, Cornelius and Snake Chaser, show up for dinner. And
Is he in lupus still?
oh, not around here. The other Silent Strider is in his Homid form.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, Cornelius and Snake Chaser show up, and they share a few stories. The Snake Chaser has a few more stories about the storm-born beasts that roam the west. Yeah, he mentions devil coyotes and just these packs of deadly tricksters, like kind of like coyotes, but not. Their eyes, he talks about how their eyes are strange colors and their cries sound like unsettling coughing laughs, and how they have like black teeth and their jaws drip like this with this bluish froth. And he has a few more stories about sleepwalkers that don't realize that they're dreaming, and how some are hostile, and how he's heard of some packs that actually befriend a few. And these sleepwalkers are able to change the world around them as if it's a dream, like a very lucid dream. And he has a few more stories like that. And Cornelius tells a few stories about some bounties that he's gone after, a few black spiral dancers out in the far west and the really remote areas, how he's found some of their kinfolk over there and he's had to track them down. Overall, a very interesting dinner as they share more than a few of their own stories.
All right.
I was very interested to hear.
Especially those creatures. I think I'd rather deal with the spiders than those.
They sound friendly.
They're not fellow doggies? Oh, no, they're not. They are. Yeah, devil coyotes are shape-shifting tricksters. And they are what Snake Chaser refers to as Stormborn. They've basically they're like half spirits creatures. They don't really have a home in either the material world or the Umbra, so they're kind of caught in the middle. Yeah, and then after dinner, both of the Silent Striders head off to attend the moot before it officially starts.
So are you ready to go?
Trees can be.
Oh god. Oh god, okay, there we go.
I saw Laz typing for a moment there. Alright, I'll ignore you, Laz. Alright, so as the four of you go down to the Saint Denis docks to go into one of the large empty warehouses that acts as a meeting place for the Sept, you see the other members of the community also there. Heath, you see Hans and the rest of his pack. Looks like, and kind of from the murmurs of the other Garu that are gathering, it sounds like they returned to the Sept before you guys did, and there is a whole moot based around what they went through when they left to take care of the moon when it turned red, like I think over a month ago now.
I go over and listen to the mood that their storyteller's saying.
Oh no, they had the mood already.
Oh, they had their mood
Yeah,
already?
yeah, their story's already passed around.
Oh, okay. So I go over to Hans to give my readings.
And Hans gives a big smile as he sees you come over, and he says, "Oh, cousin, it's good to see you back."
It's been a while, Hans, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Fortunately, I missed your moot, but from the sound of the whispers all around me, I think it all went well.
Oh yes, we made it back in one piece, but well, what happened to us isn't so important today. I heard you and your pack did the impossible. Found a cairn that everyone thought was lost to the nation.
I would tell you myself, but I think that job belongs to one of my packmates. Honestly, he'll be better to tell the tale than I could.
Yeah, maybe the Galliard's job to embellish stories and songs, but all the other auspices tell their own stories too.
Maybe after he goes. It would not be proper of me to say it before he does.
Well, I look forward to hearing him tell it.
I think you'll be surprised with some of the things that the pack accomplished within our time period, and I learned a lot during these last month and a half. And you're right, I need to put more trust in my pack mates, and slowly I think I'm getting there. And I learned a lot of things about myself too during that time. Some connected with the stuff that we did, and some just internally. So, thanks, Hans. I don't think I would have gone this far without your advice.
Then he nods and he says, I'm glad I was able to help you along your path to learning your to helping you learn your place amongst us.
And I feel like I'm close, not yet. I'm close to getting stronger. So the next time we meet in the next movie, I've read that someone above me can give me a challenge to prove my worth and raise my rank within the Sept. Would you be able to think of something for me to go through? Since you understand me more than probably most people from here.
And he gives a big grin when you ask the question, and then he just settles it down to a warm smile, and he nods and says, "Yes, I can think of a worthy challenge for a soon-to-be Fostern."
I wouldn't expect anything less than the best and the hardest thing from you. I look forward to it.
Oh, with talk like that, we'll have you chasing down thunder worms with nothing but your bare claws in no time.
About that. Don't worry about it. I need to go back to the rest of my pack. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Of course.
It was good seeing you. Tell the rest of your pack mates I said hi. Maybe we'll catch a drink after the moot's over.
Actually, the rest of his pack is right there.
Oh, I was like, and then sorry, I kind of tend to focus on one person. He leans sideways past Hans. Plus, he's kind of big and covers most of my side of vision.
And the rest of his pack, the rest of his pack is there. And it looks like there's one of his packs is native, not from the local reservation in this area, but he does look native. And there's also another, well, you would assume to be a silent strider.
Is it anybody that I've met before? The Silent Strider?
No. Well, like you've seen them before, like hanging around with Hans, but you haven't introduced yourself personally to them, but they do know who you are.
Oh, okay. And so Heath continues and says, once it's all over, the next few rounds are on me to make it up. Fair deal?
And Hans nods. Hans nods, and he says, that sounds fair."
And Heath waves goodbye and heads over to the rest, where I'm assuming Last's getting ready for his performance.
Yep, and as everyone is gathering together, that's when you see Margaret, the Sept leader, present the Pathstone to Mary, and Mary begins the ritual to open the moon bridge that will link you, or link the Sept of the Emerald Marsh to the Sept of the Hidden Ravine. And it takes probably about an hour as she performs the ritual, and the hope and assumption is that on the other side of the bridge they're also doing the same ritual at the same time, because it has to be coordinated together. And after a while, the moon bridge finally opens up. It's almost like a portal that opens up through the wall in the back of the warehouse. And after a few moments, you see the Garu from the Sept of the Hidden Ravine crossover. That is going to be White Eagle, the Sept leader from over there. And then one of the other Garu that helped you seal the Bane, Moon's Light. And then there's also Doe's Heart, who also helped you seal up the Bane. And then a few others that the four of you haven't met personally. And then there's melting snow following up behind. And then begins the opening howl to announce the beginning of the moot, as Howling Prayer, Thomas Howling Prayer, who you've met before, Heath, and Dozeheart lead the howl together in unison. And there's maybe a few seconds before everyone else, actually let me start over with that, before the opening howl, everybody crosses over into the Umbra, and then Howling Prayer and Dozeheart lead the opening howl together, and then everyone else shifts into their lupus forms and joins in on the howl as they officially begin the moot. Because you don't want a group of 20 or 30 wolves to start howling in the middle of the city.
That would have been awkward.
But then, as that opening howl starts to kind of simmer down, you see one of the Bonars. He's obviously playing a part, as he stumbles in, pretending to be drunk off his ass, and he starts shouting, "Wait, who the hell are these guys?" As he points to the visiting Sept, and he says, "Who the hell are all of you? What's this place?" And led by Howling Prayer and Dozeheart, everybody starts to answer this Bonar's questions, as he, spouts out questions like, what are we all here for? What's our duty? Why, what's the occasion? Why are we doing this? What's so special about the cairn anyway? What are we fighting for? And, everybody answers the questions almost in unison. We're the Sept of the Emerald Marsh. We're celebrating the new alliance with the Sept of the Hidden Ravine. We're fighting to restore balance to Gaia, and other such questions. And it's not something that anybody is offended over. It's just kind of an affirmation of why are we holding this moot? And then, since the last moot was a little bit of an unusual circumstance with the dead showing up, this kind of performance is going back to the usual procedure for a moot. And then, after he kind of stumbles out from the center of the crowd, that's when the Thurges start summoning the spirits. First the spirit of Rat is summoned, since Rat is the cairn spirit. And then the Thurges of each pack start summoning their totem spirits and the local spirit allies. So you see Rat, you see Bison, Coyote, Raccoon, Alligator, Frog, Turkey, Uktena, Pegasus, the Stourbridge Lion, which is basically this giant train that looks like a lion, and Phoenix itself, and among some other spirits that are called in to witness the alliance between these two Garu Septs. And then, since your pack doesn't have a Thurge, there's another Thurge that volunteers to summon an owl as well. And then there's the next portion of the moot is basically the punishments, or the really heavy disputes that need a Philodox to settle, as the truth catcher of the Emerald Marsh, who is called Henry, and his deedname is Father's Mercy, and he's this large Metis. He's in his Krynos form, as you see that he's missing his right arm. And then the truth catcher from the Hidden Ravine Sept, the Vinxo, who is another of Melting Snow's brothers. They lead this portion of the moot, where it's basically, if you have beef with somebody and you need a or it's basically if somebody did something really bad during the last month, this is when they would get punished for it. This month, however, it seems like there aren't any major punishments. Maybe a few violations from the Bonars, but it's very minor stuff. And then comes the stories and songs, as Melting Snow has her deeds recognized and she officially becomes a Cleoth of the nation. And for her efforts in resealing the Bane trapped beneath the plains as a part of her rite of passage, she is given the deedname Earth Tender. And the Garu from her sept howl in celebration, and she is just beaming with pride. And
We're so proud of her.
I'll give you guys a chance to react.
We're so proud of her. I clap.
Yeah, Adrian howls.
Same. Isaac taking off his hat and kind of waving it around.
It brings a tear to my eye.
They grow up so fast.
No kidding. Very fast.
All right, and then Laz, if you want to do a charisma and rituals roll, as you boast about what the pack has been up to for the last month, and you also announce the name of the pack, which, if I remember, is Blood Moon's Vengeance.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So Laz, go ahead and do that charisma and rituals roll, and then I'll basically say you announce that the pack is called Blood Moon's Vengeance, and you are an owl pack, and basically you fill in the blanks to what the pack has been up to for the last month. Actually, give me a second to look up the ritual really quick.
I don't think he has any successes.
Oh,
Oh boy.
I don't think either.
Crap.
Oh, this is a 5. If it's a 5, then he has 3, but I don't even know the difficulty.
Usually
let
it's
me
a 6 or
let me
7.
look it up. One fear.
Yeah, just a little bit. At least it isn't a botch.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I'd rather fail than botch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Difficulty is 6.
Well,
Look out, not work now. The owl said no, thank you.
would it be too late to spend the willpower for at least one?
If he wants.
If he wants to.
Oh, okay. Actually, for the rite of accomplishment, the difficulty is only 4 unless somebody disputes it. So since
okay.
nobody's disputing it, you actually succeed.
Thank God. The lucky owl worked great, Les.
Okay, yeah, I just had to look at the right description really quick because I know sometimes the difficulties are different. Okay, yeah,
Well,
so
It is kind of hard to dispute the
Yeah.
claim when in the end we say we brought the Pathstone,
yeah,
and there's no easy way to get it. So even if we're lying, we're still badass.
There you go.
all right, yeah. So that's 4 successes as Laz tells the story of how you stopped the fire, helped stop the Bane, helped Melting Snow on her rite of passage, and then went off to get Owl as a totem, and then flew all the way to the moon and back. Very exciting stuff.
Damn right we did. Hell of a job, Liz.
For a minute, you scared me there.
I'm sorry.
Both of you and Tlas. For a minute, you scared me there.
But yeah, you have to spend the willpower before you roll. It can't be after. But man, it would really suck if Laz failed too, because he just increased his rituals too.
He did. I forgot about that. All that ritual, no, the payoff.
You're like, hey, more dice. This is gonna be. Oh shit.
But yeah, Laz sings of everybody's accomplishments, and if you have 10 temporary renown, you now have 1 more point of permanent renown. Even in all 3, yes. Yeah,
You call what you asked for. You call what you asked for, so... What if I roll... What? Isn't that a botch, though?
Oh, that would be a botch, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go.
Yeah, botches are bad. Like, we would be pretty much outcasts.
We
because
would-
nobody would believe you.
It would basically be the excommunicate like the fucking village style.
Yeah, they probably would think that we stole or it's just like the stone is just like a fossilized piece of wood with a paw print on it or some shit like that.
But
Owly,
That would be
even
bad.
Owl would be like,
Fuck the
"Who are
shit
you
out of
guys?"
Owl.
Liars.
We're now outcast. That's the story we're going with. We lost everything.
Hey, well, at least it would be a good build up, huh?
There you go.
Anyway.
All right, yeah.
Oh.
So after Laz sings his praises of Blood Moon's vengeance, then other packs step up and have their deeds recognized through their galliards, and that's when some songs are sung and stories are told. Uh, it's announced that the Bonar pack, the Freight Hoppers, and the Iron Rider pack, the Gunslinger Alphas, are teaming up to harass Cornwall Company activities, and that their Alphas are going to be going on their third rank challenge against the Lemoyne Raiders soon. They're going to be sent on a mission to deal with them. And then other news is spread around as the Galliards tell that the Great Heartland Fire, as it's being called, didn't go unnoticed. It didn't spread into reservation land, but it did burn acres of grazing land for the local ranches. Because basically the entire Heartland Plains caught on fire, more or less. And
Whoops, my
yeah,
bad.
and you hear from the Hidden Ravine Galliards that some of the reservation elders, the kinfolk, the really sick ones, had to be evacuated to one of their secret sacred sites to keep them safe, but they're fine. And the army fort was nearly caught up in the blaze, but they managed to keep the north side of the fire contained. And that a lot of the cattle ranchers were affected, and the bison. Nobody really knows where the bison went. Everybody thinks they probably scattered during the fires. And then you all find out that the destruction of the oil refinery, Cornwall Kerosene and Tar has hired the Pinkerton Detective Agency for the express purpose of protecting Cornwall interests and the ongoing construction of the transcontinental railroads. And that's when other Garu mentioned that the railroad overseers have been pushing their workers to the brink of exhaustion. A lot of them are Asian immigrants, and then it's also you also learn that it's come to the attention of the elders that Leviticus Cornwall and his company's activities have been a continuous source of strife, especially up in Ansburg, the mining town, and that the Pinkertons have been suppressing worker discontent up there, and they believe that it's not strife that the Wyrm is causing, but the Wyrm could easily take advantage of it. And that there's a roaming pack of Bonars called the Roving Rat Gang that are investigating Ansburg, and they're currently over in the Van Horn trading post. The last time anybody heard anything from them. And then the Iron Riders have taken an interest in the Pinkerton guns. There's rumors from up north and back east that they are using silver bullets. So the warder of the Emerald Marsh Sept, Anna holds the line, announces that if anybody gets a hold of their guns and bullets, to bring them to her. And then that concludes the deeds and recognition part of the moot, as everybody kind of takes in all the information, and then cats. All right. As everybody takes in the information and then starts kind of spreading out as some cross over the moon bridge to the Sept of the Hidden Ravine, some stay in Saint Denis, and everybody kind of just spreads out and joins in the local games. Okay, I know that was a lot of information. Do you guys have any questions?
Uh,
Nope. I got it all down.
Okay.
Find Pinkertons, kill them, bring back their weapons. Don't get shot, they might be silver.
okay, that's a good way to.
And we killed a whole bunch of people. No.
No, we didn't
We
kill
could have
anybody.
killed a whole bunch of people.
We didn't kill anybody. Remember, it was the thunderstorm that got him. That got the orb.
Yep. Freak lightning strike must have been.
Yeah, the air must have been dry, and the oil just spread the fire.
Don't ask me. I was on the moon.
Well, all good thing. All's well that ends well, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
You guys can go play games and jump from rooftop to rooftop or whatever it is you guys do if you want.
What
You
about
don't
you?
have to hang around me all night.
But yeah, so you guys can hop on the moon bridge over to the reservation to join in on some of their stuff over there, or you can stay in Saint Denis and hang around.
He's gonna go and try to find the brawling matches.
Okay.
He's gonna try his luck again. So I'm not sure if that's in Saint Denis or if that's in the reservation.
Oh, that's kind of both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wherever two Outrons meet, there is a brawl.
Awesome. So I'm gonna stick in Saint Denis.
Okay. And then, Laz, is there anywhere that you want to go? Do you want to hop on the moon bridge and share some Bonar stories, or do you want to do that over in Saint Denis? Or anything that Laz wants to do. Okay. All right. So Heath, you find the brawling area in no time at all, as you see a group of Aruns duking it out. You recognize the blindfolded Arun, Blind Mutt's Bluff, that you met last time, and they are wrestling with another one of the Bonars. Yeah, they're wrestling with another one of the Bonars, one named Rags to Stitches, who is going to be going on their rank challenge soon.
Kick his ass!
You know, let's see if she does kick his ass. Let's see. As I try to guess a reasonable dice pool for both of them, because I haven't got around to making character sheets. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Alright, yeah, as the blindfolded Garu defeats the other one, as Blind Mutt's Bluff does a suplex on Rags to Stitches, and you hear like bones crack, and then Hans, who's overseeing the fight, just kind of breaks them up as they're both given a chance to recover.
Ooh, that sounded like a hurt.
Why don't you get in there?
Yeah, why not? And so Heath waits until the blindfolded one asked for another challenger,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll volunteer.
All right. Yeah, and she looks over in your direction as you speak up, and she sniffs the air for a moment, and she says, "Oh, it's you again."
Yeah, want to see if you want a rematch.
All right, let's do this. As she cracks her knuckles.
And Heath jumps in and takes off his shirt, partly revealing the scar across his chest. This is not a character question.
Oh, sure.
Do gifts count within these kind of matches?
I'd say the assumption is probably no gifts.
Okay.
So it's just a straight up fist fight.
All right. I was curious about that.
Yeah,
Alright,
if it was something like a formal challenge or a formal duel, then a Philodox would probably be called in to orchestrate the terms and conditions of the fight. But in this case, it's just a straight up brawl.
All right. And so Heath gets ready, put his fist up, and
Yeah,
time to roll.
yeah, go ahead and give me Dex and Brawl, and we'll do 3 rounds, and whoever gets the most successes wins.
Let's see. Let's think of it.
Okay. And then she is a rank higher than you, so she's going to be a little bit stronger.
Okay.
Oh, I entered the wrong command. There
Oh,
we
so
go.
like, wait a minute. I don't see yours. There you go.
There we go. So you got 3 successes against 3. So first round, it's a pretty close draw. As yeah, you both get 3 successes each. She rolled a 1 and canceled one of her successes out. So it's like, it seems like she has the upper hand for like the first third of the match, and then she fumbles and it ends up being a draw. So go ahead and roll again for round 2.
Ooh, got nothing on that one.
Oh man, so even though she's blind, you watch as she just listens, and she's able to hear your feet shuffle on the ground, and she gets a sense of your momentum as you throw a punch, and then she ducks or weaves out of the way and uses your momentum against you. And then let's roll for the last one. 4, 2, 3, 2. All right, and if I remember right, you won against her last time too.
Yeah, I won against the first time.
Yeah, in the final stretch of the fight, you get the upper hand, and yeah, 4 successes against 3. You win the match.
And
And
oh goodness.
yeah, and in the final push of the fight, there's like the snap of bone again as like you knock her as you dislocate her shoulder, and then the fight's broken up, and she twists it back into place, winces, and says, "Good fight again."
Thanks. I didn't think I would actually coming on top, to be honest. Oh goodness, you got a lot harder than last time.
Well, you've definitely improved since last time. I didn't go easy on you this time. And she laughs.
Thanks. I can't wait for the next time though. 3 out of 3?
I'm sorry, what was that, Zest?
I can't wait for the next time to make it 3 out of 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she nods and says, "Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time." All right, and then Isaac, Adrian, is there anything you guys want to do?
For Isaac, for the most part, he'll just sit down and kind of talk to the other silent striders. That's one of the best ways they get their information,
Mm-hmm.
passing it on and whatnot. Mostly he'd want to find out more about the whole storm going on
Mm-hmm.
and how bad it's been from between where they are and where it seems to be centered.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. He
Okay.
would just be yakking most of the night.
All right.
Challenge the other bounty hunter to a shooting contest or something.
All right. And you learned that it hasn't really been getting much better over in the west. The Storm Eater is still rampaging without anything holding it back, and the Storm Umbra seems to be getting more and more unstable. The and seems to be coming more eastward, but it's been really hard for anybody to track because there's just been these umbral storms just everywhere,
Hmm.
and they seem to happen at no particular time or rhythm. Cornelius and Snake Chaser do tell you a little bit more about some of the creatures they've seen, and just more strange creatures, Fomori, things like that.
All right. Okay. So yeah, all that he would keep in mind just in case they have to head over that way eventually.
Welcome back, Laz.
Welcome back.
All right, and then is there anything Adrian wants to do?
No, he just walks around. He's gonna kind of stay quiet, not as vocal as before. He's still probably just tired, and usually he ends up talking to Moon's shadow, but she's gonna be tired tonight because she opened up a moon bridge. So
Yeah. Okay.
he's just gonna let the pack do their thing, watch for a little bit.
All right. Yeah. It's. Laz, is there anything you would like to do during the games and revelry? I'm not sure. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, we could say that you probably walk around, watching everybody probably play like some games like jumping across rooftops. You hear that over in the over on the reservation, people have been having climbing challenges, climbing up the waterfall and seeing who can climb up first without falling into the water, and a few other games like that, tug of war and other things. And as the revelry goes on, there's a few more like mock fights and battles as everybody gets excited for the final conclusion of the moot, where basically as procedure goes, the whole sept goes on a hunt and then gives gnosis to the cairn totem to keep the bonds between the sept and the cairn strong. And as the night goes on, all four of you can feel like the excitement building up as there's more like mock fights and other such things. And then you hear the warder of the Emerald Marsh Sept let out a howl, calling everybody over. And as everybody gathers, she, being Anna, one of the she's the warder and an iron rider, who is a third rank. Her deedname is Holds the Line, and you see she's carrying 2 revolvers, and she has a shotgun slung over her shoulder, and she howls out. Let's see, okay, where are my notes? All right, yeah. Yeah, as everybody starts to rally to the call, you hear the warder let out a howl, calling for all to follow, and she says there is an abandoned plantation not far from here by the name of Shady Bell, where the Lemoyne Raiders have been smuggling weapons and moonshine, and they have been hosts to banes that fester off of their hatred, greed, and violence that they bring towards other humans. And as she's announcing this, the 4 of you start to see everybody shift into their Krynos forms, and Anna leads this charge as everybody starts to basically charge through the swamps towards towards Shady Bell. And you do see it. There's a pack or 2 that stays behind to keep guard over the city. Does everybody want to go with?
Heath will go, most partly to watch to see what's gonna happen because everybody just went all ham.
Yeah, Isaac, well, he would hang back a bit, kind of curious as to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll transform into Krynos like everybody else just to fit in. Not even to attack, just to fit in. Away I go.
Oh yes, Les, the Lemoyne Raiders do sound quite familiar. And as the 4 of you follow along with everybody, you see as just the whole group, both septs combined together into just one massive frenzied war party as they charge through the swamps, barreling through the foliage as they pass by this old Civil War battleground. They charge past this ruined old church and down the road towards this plantation. And it's all together, it's a group of maybe 20, maybe 30 Garu max as they just go into a full frenzy and just swarm over the plantation. And the 4 of you notice that the Uktena and the Wendigo Garu, they also hang back a bit, but they kind of go into the foliage and camouflage in as they cover the exits, which there aren't many. So you guys have 3 options. You can wait in ambush with the Uktena in melting snow. You can go around the perimeter of the plantation house to like there are some sheds behind it and some docks where there's like a few canoes and boats. or you can storm the house itself.
Don't want to wait. Don't want to get in there.
And you guys can split up as well if you want to.
Yeah, Isaac would be likely looking for a good vantage point, trusting his rifle more than anything else.
Okay.
Did that swarm of Gru at all go to the docks, or are they just bum rushing the house?
They're kind of spreading out. It's like they're going down the road and then they just spread out. It seems like a good chunk of the Bonars are securing the perimeter, and then everybody else is either rushing the house or holding back to catch anybody that might try to escape.
It's gonna be one crowded house.
Adrian's staying back. Yeah, that bum rushing a house isn't his style.
Okay.
It is mine though, so he's going to the house.
All right. And Laz, what would you like to do? Keep an eye on those docks? Okay. All right, as the four of you start to split up, so we'll start with Heath, and then go Laz, and then we'll do Adrian and Isaac. So Heath, you join the group that is charging the house itself, as you're one of the first to just barrel in as this mass of Krynos Garus start to swarm over the grounds of the abandoned plantation. Most of the Lemoyne raiders they start to freak out as they see this swarm of Krynos Garu, and they're just torn to pieces. And the few of them that don't freak out, you start to see them change as like their fingers grow into claws, or you realize they have like a third arm hidden under a jacket, or their skin is like this thick hide, and even they are completely caught off guard as they're torn to pieces. Like they might get maybe a few hits in, but then they're immediately ganged up on and basically drawn and quartered. And you barge into the house and start just killing left and right anybody that doesn't immediately somehow escape. And Laz, as you're keeping an eye on the docks, you follow a group of Bonars as they're charging in. One of them just barrels through the wall of this kind of beat up shack, and the whole thing collapses. And it's basically a massacre as the raiders that your group doesn't catch Laz, they end up jumping into the water, and then the alligators eat them. And then over towards the front entrance of the plantation grounds, Adrian and Isaac, you watch as some of the humans that somehow manage to escape the initial swarm, they try to escape. You probably see like one or two Fomori with them, and then the Uktena and Wendigo Garu spring out almost as if from nowhere and ambush them. And you guys also get a few shots in too.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Basically.
Yeah.
And the night is just filled with the screams and shouts of these worm-tainted humans. And as the violence simmers down a little bit, Zest, you can see that, well, the four of you can see that this house is mostly almost completely taken in by the wilderness, but there's something off about it. As Zest, you can just smell the rot and mold inside the house itself as you clear through each room and go up to the second floor and clear those rooms out. You maybe even bust down a few doors too. And Laz, on your side of things, you and some of the other Bonars find wagons. Wagons full of rifles and moonshine. And as everybody starts to kind of come down from just the excitement and the frenzy of the hunt at the end of the moot, the conclusion of the revelry, the Bonars announce that, hey, we found some moonshine in these wagons, and the Thurges start to do a purification rite to clean the moonshine of any worm taint. And now all that's left of this raider outpost is a bunch of bodies and a rotting old house. And Laszlo, I should mention, you do recognize the uniforms. You've seen these people before. Not these individual people, but you've seen the Lemoyne Raiders before. You remember them.
It was a little less anticlimactic than I thought it would be.
And you say that, and Hans pipes up, and he says, "Oh, what do you expect when we band together and strike the worm?"
Fair point.
There's little that can stop a stampede of Garu banded together.
So why did this house smell worse than a usual rot and decay? It smells different from a regular old broke down house.
And another Garu speaks up, and you recognize it. It's the Silent Strider that's part of Hans's pack, the Silver Pack. And he says that is because this land here has been tainted. Banes have been making a nest here.
Can it be purified?
Perhaps, but it would be easier and better to destroy it.
I see. It is quite a shame though, but it's understandable. So now what, we're just gonna leave everything, just burn everything to the ground then?
And Hans pauses for a moment as everybody starts to kind of get back together again and regroup. And he says, maybe. We might also go into the Umbra and clear out the Banes as well. But we can also burn out the corruption too.
Oh, whatever.
And I just realized during all of that I forgot to mention that everybody was in the Umbra when they were coming over to the plantation. So basically just a swarm of werewolves just popped out of nowhere and killed everybody.
Well, naturally.
Yeah, everybody, as the group gets back together and the elders start directing people to perform, the elders start directing the Thurges to perform a rite that is going to purify the area, and then they plan on destroying the house. And they decided it's too humid and wet to burn it down. Well, sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, so the elders decide that it's too wet and humid to burn it down, and then that's when the Bonars from Myrtle's pack find a wagon full of dynamite. And so everybody agrees to purify the land around the house and then blow it up.
Now that's a way to end the moot. Have a set of fireworks. Do fireworks exist in this era?
Yeah.
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 Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good. He said something like, "What's a firework?" Like, I don't know. He's a witch.
Always nice to end the night on a little bit of arson, right?
Anything's with a bang.
Yeah, and as the wagon full of guns and moonshine starts getting driven out, the dynamite is set up as the Thurges start to, purify the surrounding land with a rite, as it starts to kind of gently start to rain, as just the corruption and the rot around this house starts to just get washed away. And then after the ritual is completed, that's when Hans aims his gun, fires, hits one of the boxes of dynamite, and then it just all goes up in a massive explosion. And everyone starts heading back to Saint Denis as the Thurges open up the way into the Umbra again so that everybody can sneakily cross back into the city.
And not have a parade of werewolves just running around.
Basically, as everyone starts to settle down a bit, and they finish off the moot with a lot of drinking at the rising sun.
Now that is my kind of party. Hey, Adrian.
Yeah.
Are you good with property, legal thing?
Yep.
You think we can look into buying that area that we just purified?
You want to buy a plantation?
Well, not make it into a plantation.
What's wrong with having a plantation? I have a plantation.
I'm more of a hunter, not a farmer, so I have no clue how to run a plantation.
That's why you hire a guy. I don't run my place. My guy runs my place.
Maybe. Was more into the trading aspect of things, but well, I just think that having someone like us having the property would protect it from what we just went to tear down. Dynamite aside, or blew up rather.
Well, the dynamite could be considered a good thing because now the property is destroyed, so we're probably going to be able to buy it. You'll be able to get it pretty cheap.
Yeah. So I'm thinking. Plus, if I have a bad feeling, I haven't gone back home in a long time. I'm pretty sure that half of my property in Emerald Plains is burned down because of the incident.
That sucks.
I'm pretty half sure. I haven't gone back
Pretty
to
half
check.
sure.
Pretty half sure.
All right.
I'm 25% sure. I don't know how far the fire extended since apparently it set alight all the freaking Heartland Plains. So maybe before we head to wherever we're going, I should probably head home to make sure that at least everybody's still alive and kicking. And if it's all dead, then I'll still buy Shadyville and make it into something, plantation or not. Ugh. Having a good set of cattle, bunch of goats, cows. I don't know. Can you give apples here in this human area? Probably not. I don't know. I'll figure it out once we first buy the property. Like you said, we probably could get it pretty cheap now that it's blown to pieces.
Yeah, I'll help you. I'll help you buy the property.
Good. And now to get some moonshine.
And back in the Rising Sun, they brought the moonshine over. So as I'm assuming all four of you head back to the Rising Sun, as you walk in on the one of the Bonar Thurges doing a rite of spirit awakening, and they're going to make the moonshine even stronger.
Oh, good lord.
You said stronger, you said. I'm curious.
Sounds good to me.
And here I was thinking of starting a moonshine brand for Garou to make it a little bit stronger. I didn't know you could call the spirits to make it stronger.
You could sell it to just normal people and get a lot more money that way.
I mean, that
Because
too.
Guru, it'll be just like a normal day for Guru.
That is true.
The constitution is too high.
That's why we gotta make it strong enough for that. That would probably kill regular
well,
people.
it'll still
right?
be pretty normal though.
Would that kill regular people though? With how high our constitution is?
Nah, just makes it more potent.
That's the spirit, lass.
And now that the preparations are over, I suppose I could try some. Oh yeah, that is a spirit las.
Let's all get finally wasted for once.
Alright, yeah, as the four of you help conclude the moot with super powered up a moonshine.
Heath crafts his usual jug. Now moonshine instead of whiskey. Well, live to see 30? I don't know. Probably not. Not with this much alcohol.
You'll live to see 30.
Oh, thank God. Here I thought I was gonna miss on a lot of alcohol. And Heath just nurses his jug of triple X moonshine. Come on, lass, don't be shy. Have a drink, or 5. It'll grow hair in your chest. In your chest? On your chest. Do it, really do it.
No, you don't need to roll anything for that. We'll just say it happens. Yeah, and as you guys drink the night away, and I'm gonna say because it's spirit awakened moonshine, it's probably gonna take everybody a day or two to recover. It's just a really bad hangovers all around. But it was a really great party.
Can't go wrong with a really great party.
Could do without the headache.
It'll go away.
There's only one thing to do.
Drink more.
No, well, maybe. I was gonna say get as much greasy food as we can find, humanly possible, and to just shove that into our mouths. Yes, you did. We drank the night away. Get some spice, some chili peppers, some cheese from the convenience store.
I mean, from the general store.
Oh, right. We don't have to. Right, right. Back in those times, it wasn't a convenience to go to the store. I forgot. The general store. Nothing was convenient back in our times.
All right. So that's the moot. We need to get Heath some fangs of judgment, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yes.
That's gonna be great. Calling my ancestors while having a hangover. That'll be a great first impression.
Well, we can say it's a maybe a day or two after once you've recovered.
Okay, because I don't know if my ancestors will appreciate me having a hangover. It's like, can you talk softer? I know you're talking in my head, but I kind of need you to talk softer.
All right.
Adrian, excuse me. Go on.
Yeah.
Can you help me with that thing?
Yeah. We
Ah,
might
don't be
need to
like.
find a third though.
So no holy water,
A holy one? No. They're
blood
not
for me.
ghosts. They're like normal people, man.
I don't know how spirit summoning works.
They're like normal people. I don't know how it works either. That's the problem. I can talk to them. It's harder to summon them. But I have an idea that might work. We'll see.
Oh,
If not, we'll have to find a third.
okay. So what is your idea?
So, from his house, where nobody's looking, they go into the Umbra and they look around the yard a little bit to see if they can find a storm crow.
Stormcloak.
All right. There's probably one flying around.
A little bit stronger than a crow, storm crow.
All right.
Once they find the storm crow, he carefully walks up to it with a little, hey, are you busy?
And it turns its head as it notices you and says, "No.
Great. How'd you like to do me a favor?
What do you have to offer me?"
What do you want?
And it thinks for a few moments. And after a moment, the Stormcrow spirit speaks up. Depends on what the favor is.
Well, you don't want me to choose the favor, or to choose the cost, but the favor is, I need you to go down into the deep Umbra, find one of this dude's ancestors, and see if you can get him to come back. Talk to him.
Hello.
And the Stormcrow squints a little at Heath, or it seems to squint. And it says maybe some gnosis and something shiny.
Heath, give him some gnosis.
Okay. How do I do that?
You know how, like, when you're trying to use a gift, you force your rage,
Uh-huh.
or just kind of like force it, filter it through to him.
All right. I'll filter my Genesis. Hang on. Let me try. And he holds his hand out and tries to give the Geneva to the crow.
Sorry, I cracked up because he called it Geneva. Well, you called it
Yeah.
Genesis, and then you called it Geneva.
Well, I just hope he likes my Genevieve. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it takes a moment, but you kind of produce some. It's kind of like a blue glow in your hand, and you can easily shape it into like the shape of like a shiny coin, and the Stormcrow just takes it out of your hand, and just absorbs the essence, and says, "All right, I will be back," and it starts to fly off.
Now we wait.
That was surprisingly interesting. I didn't know
It's
I could do
not.
that.
It's not that hard. Storm crows. If you want my advice, if you see them, you probably shouldn't go alone talking to them. But they're part of Grandfather Thunder's thing. They're. It's almost like we're kind of related. Shadow Lords and Storm crows. So usually it's not so hard to get one to do you a favor.
But I shouldn't talk to them by myself. All right.
Well, Shadow Lords and Silverfangs don't usually get along too well. The Storm Crows know that.
Yeah. Is that why he looked at me funny?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, well.
Quick question: where is Heath from exactly? Like, where is his family from?
His family's from Indiana originally, before he moved to the frontier. So up the Midwest.
Okay.
I think we're in the South, rather. I think in this in the Red Dead map.
Well, I meant more like his family history.
Oh, family history. I
Oh,
wanna
with
say
a name like O'Connor, probably
Irish,
That's
I think.
Irish. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's
that would
Irish.
be Irish with the German cousin.
The German cousin. Hey, we spread around
They, they get
inbreedings.
around.
The O'Connor family got around for a while.
Garu
We,
get around.
we probably have an O'Connor Russian person. Who knows? Who knows?
And after a while, maybe a half hour of waiting, the two of you, or anyone present really, starts to hear like the. Hold on, give me a second. Let me just double check something really quick.
Heath is a mutt. He's half and half. There you go.
All right, yeah. So after about maybe 30 minutes or so, a little bit of a wait, you hear the distant sound of a set of bagpipes as this Garu in full like Krynos form, probably a Metis, as he appears, like almost materializes out of thin air, and he slowly fades in as he comes in from another part of the Umbra, and under one arm he's holding this bagpipe and he's playing a tune on it. And when he finally fully materializes, he's this tall, towering creature, about 8-9 feet tall. And Heath, you do like see some of yourself in him, like how your other forms have like kind of this blonde fur to it. He
Mm-hmm.
has a similar fur color, and he stops playing his instrument for a moment and sizes you up, and he says, "So you're the one that called for me."
Yes, sir. I did.
A silver fang sending a storm crow to fetch one of his ancestors.
I sent the Stormcrow. Just doing him a favor.
Sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures when you're fighting the worm. I figured you would know that.
And he furrows his brow a little bit at that, and he says, "Oh, I'm fully well aware of it, pup. I see that the fire hasn't died in the family line yet, even if you are friends with a Shadow Lord." And he gives this kind of low chuckle, and he says, "All right, what did you call me for?"
I need you to teach me something. I figured that at least it comes from part of our line, someplace. So I asked this Shadow Lord to help me summon you so you could teach me it. Of course, I don't expect it to do for free. What is it you want me to do in exchange?
First, I want you to tell me your name.
Heathcliff wow, I can't talk. Heathcliff O'Connor.
No deed name?
Fire Render. Just learned it not too long ago.
And he grins a little bit, and he says, "Good to see that respect hasn't been lost to the generations. I am Sebastian O'Connor, judges the truth. I'll teach you what you want to learn. So what is it?"
I want to learn the gift of Fangs of Judgment. While I fight for the sake of my pack, I realize that my strength alone is not enough. I want more power to fight against those within the worm. I can fight against humanity just fine, even in my Hobbit form. But those against that are signed with the worm, I want more power against them. And for that, I'll do anything to earn it.
And the ancestor spirit nods, and he pauses for a moment as he considers your words, and he says, "All right, I will teach you the fangs of judgment. Tradition dictates that one should stick to their own auspice. But I know that, as you said, desperate times call for desperate measures. It's good to stay versatile, to adapt, to survive. I will teach you the fangs of judgment. But what I request of you is to seek out a spiral dancer and deliver judgment. Kill one
All right,
yourself, deliver the final blow, and judge them."
I accept your terms. Just because we're becoming more versatile within our tribe doesn't mean we lose our pride as a single thing.
Well spoken. Good to know that you still got the blood of kings in you. And he reaches over and he gets ready to touch your forehead to pass the knowledge on, and then he just flicks your forehead.
Ow. And Heath rubs his forehead. Didn't think I'd feel that. Thank you.
And next time, Heath Firerender, learn some damn respect for your ancestors. And then he leaves and starts to fade back, or fade out, and disappears. And then you hear the distant sound of bagpipes fading away.
And once he's gone, what is his name again? Because I actually forgot his name for a second.
Sebastian O'Connor, I
Truth
just judges the truth. I
Just
think,
you.
yeah, I think that's.
All right.
I think
And so
that's,
once
yeah.
once his answers to Sebastian left, Heath's legs wobble for a minute, but he stands firm. God, didn't actually think I could pull that through.
Easier, man. It gets easier.
So how much do you tell I was actually trying to think on the spot and how much actually was truth? Like half the stuff I'm not even sure if I know. I just thought it sounded what a proper silver fang should think.
It was close enough. Apparently, it seemed to work on him.
Well, I don't know if I'll need his help later on. So I guess I should stick to my promise, right? Now the question is, where am I gonna find a spiral dancer?
I have a feeling we're gonna come across some fairly soon.
That we might. So, what now?
Now we gotta find a spiral dancer.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, I know that part, but I mean, what are we gonna do now? So pack.
I don't know yet. I mean, technically, we have nothing truly pressing at the moment, so we can work on buying a house for you if you want, or we can start working on going to save the kids.
The house can wait. I have a feeling that no one's gonna want that place, given what happened to it. So it can wait. Those kids take priority. And plus,
Yeah,
I did preface my great how I made greats grandpappy that I would kill a spiral dancer. So I should probably get that done sooner than later.
we might be able to do them both at the same time. That's the problem. The thing that worries me the most about going to get those kids is they sent packs, more than one pack, to save them, and they never came back.
Yeah, that is an issue, isn't it?
That's a big issue.
Well, wondering what happened to them won't get us anywhere now, especially since we're all made our minds about it.
Well, we're gonna have to do it. Somebody's gotta do it.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm also somewhat worried of what we're gonna go up against. We don't know, and
Well,
you know,
we know. I know enough. It gets tougher from here on out. That's for sure.
well, leader, just point us the way forward.
Take it easy for a few days. Get some rest. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Then Heath begins to walk out of the Umbra, and he says, "Oh, and Adrian,
Yeah,
thanks for all of this. I know that I wouldn't be able to do this without your help.
we're a pack. We've got each other's backs.
Yeah,
I'll give you shit for being a silver fang, but you know what? We'll always do this kind of crap for each other. Think of a pack like a family. You know, brothers always fight and all that shit.
never really have much siblings growing up, so this is still pretty new to me. But yeah, and I meant what I said. It doesn't matter how versatile I get. I'm still a silver fang, whether for better or for worse. But that doesn't mean that I have to follow all of those traditions and hate on the Shadow Lords just because my family history dictates it.
Yeah, I know.
Still, I know you know, but I just wanted you to hear my say in the matter.
You're not a bad guy. You're a pretty good guy, Heath. Don't worry about it. It's all fun and games.
Until I go berserk and try to destroy a town. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, it's all fun and games till Isaac loses an eye.
What do I get to be brought up? Wait, I'm not here. Hold on.
Are you here?
Oh wait, we heard.
I knew
No,
he
if
was
it
watching
was-
us. I knew he was spying on us. That's why I said that shit.
I wasn't the one who fucking made him lose his eye. What do you mean?
Nah, if it was a Heath and Adrian thing, he wouldn't tag along. He'd do his own thing.
Mhm.
I just forgot a moment when that got brought up.
Jesus Christ! Like, God damn it! It's almost here. I didn't cause him to lose his eye. I don't know what part of my transformation that happened. Or rather, why he hasn't killed me in his sleep if that happened.
He still has both eyes. I was just kidding.
You sure? Because he kind of looks like he's always frowning, so he kind of hides his eyes, especially with his hat, so you can never really tell.
He might not have two eyes. Huh.
One never knows. But yeah, thanks, Adrian.
You're welcome.
If you excuse me, I'm gonna go try to bake another pie. Hopefully not destroy your kitchen in the process again. I mean, this time.
Enjoying.
Hopefully what your kin doesn't get angry at me again.
Good luck with that. She's always angry with me.
No comment. And Heath just goes outside the umber into the estate. He's gonna make himself a pie. An apple pie.